Tony, if the decision was Kevin Stefanski's, Shedeur Sanders would be traded at the deadline. True or false?
Okay, there you go.
Right? It is a good question. I would say true. I just don't think he considers him a quarterback of value.
I think he's doing a better job of communicating and making sure his teammates are all in sync, both in the huddle and at the line of scrimmage. So I think just the natural progression is taking place.
Tony Grossi has revealed a shocking truth about what's really going on behind the scenes. In a candid statement, Grossi spoke out about Shedeur Sanders' future, hinting that the young quarterback isn't part of Kevin Stefanski's plans. According to Grossi, Stfansky doesn't see Sanders as a reliable option and has no intention of giving him a shot. This could mean big things for Sanders' career moving forward. Stay tuned as we dive deeper into what this means for both him and the Browns.
I thought it got weirder when you let go of the first two guys. Well, you traded the first two guys that you had. All right, but giving Dillon Gabriel all the first team reps, really? We're just looking for reasons.
It's looking increasingly likely that Shedeur Sanders could be traded, especially considering the mounting criticism of Kevin Stefanski's decision-making. Stefanski has come under fire for sticking with Dillon as the only quarterback practicing with the first team. What's even more puzzling is how he pushed out two experienced quarterbacks, only to leave a rookie on the depth chart. Despite the clear risk of Dillon potentially getting injured at any moment, Stefanski remains firm in his refusal to give Shedeur a chance. This only reinforces Tony Grossi's view that a trade for Sanders might be inevitable. In a recent press conference, Kevin Stefanski made it clear that he has no intention of involving Shedeur Sanders with the first team. He insisted that the situation with Dillon is similar to when Flacco was the starter. Despite Shedeur being the second-string quarterback, Stefanski made it clear that he can't even imagine giving him reps with the first team. With Dillon's position being so fragile, one injury could force Shedeur into action. Yet Stefanski's stance shows just how little he values him. This sends a clear message. Stefanski wants Shedeur out. Let's hear exactly what he had to say.
No. I mean, with a young quarterback with Dillon starting, you want to make sure he gets a lot of the reps. Different when you have...
Amid all this, rumors are swirling that the Jets are actively exploring the possibility of signing Shedeur Sanders to make him their starting quarterback. After a disappointing start to the season, with the Jets losing all 7 of their games, New York media is buzzing with anticipation over the potential move. Fans across the city are rallying behind the idea, pushing for the team to pull the trigger on bringing Sanders in. There's a growing wave of support, with many believing this change could benefit both Sanders and the Jets. Even NFAN Radio, one of the top sports networks, has joined the conversation, calling for the Browns to trade Sanders and let him take the field in New York's blue and white. The momentum for this trade is building fast.
It is time for the Jets to acquire Shedeur Sanders from the Cleveland Browns. And someone tell me why that's a bad idea. And I don't want to hear about it's a circus. It's a circus? What's this? What the hell is this that we're watching? Bad, crappy football is a circus. The Jets should have drafted this guy, I don't know, second, third, fourth. They got a million opportunities to draft him. He has not gotten an opportunity in Cleveland. I don't really care about the Cleveland Browns.
The situation has now reached a boiling point, with quarterback coach Bill Musgrave publicly declaring that Dillon Gabriel is the better quarterback over Shedeur Sanders. Musgrave lauded Gabriel for his strong communication with teammates and his impressive throws, but many see this as an attempt to control the narrative. There's a growing sense that the Browns are intentionally sidelining Sanders. The facts speak for themselves. Shedeur hasn't seen any reps with the first team, and it's only adding fuel to the belief that the Browns are actively trying to diminish his value. All signs point to one inevitable conclusion. Shedeur Sanders is likely headed to the Jets.
I think he's doing a better job of communicating and making sure his teammates are all in sync, both in the huddle and at the line of scrimmage. So I think just the natural progression is taking place.
But there's a surprising twist in this story, and it comes from none other than Jimmy Hasslam. It was recently reported that Hasslam had a conversation with Stefanski, telling him that 3 games is not enough of a sample size to declare Dillon Gabriel the undisputed starting quarterback. He even went as far as insisting that Shedeur Sanders should remain with the group, as he's showing promising progress. In other words, Hasslam isn't ready to let go of Shedeur just yet. He's made it clear that he's not buying into the idea that Sanders isn't ready, putting an end to any doubts about his potential. While some continue to claim that Shedeur Sanders isn't ready, those who have been closely following his progress see it differently. Mary Kay Cabot, for instance, isn't buying into the excuses from Stefanski and Musgrave. She believes Sanders is the clear better option over Dillon Gabriel. After watching him throughout training, Cabot is convinced it's time for Sanders to be named the starter. She highlights Sanders' exceptional accuracy, which stands out as a skill no one else on the roster can match. Additionally, his ability to make precise throws from multiple angles, thanks to his adaptable arm motion, sets him apart from the competition. It's clear why she believes he should take the starting role.
Well, we don't get to watch very much of practice anymore, but in the short, little brief period that I do get to watch him throw, he is throwing to the practice squad guys and the backup receivers in the early part of practice. We can see it, and his elite accuracy is always on display.
Mary Kay Cabot didn't hold back, firmly stating that Dillon Gabriel is no match for Shedeur Sanders. After closely observing Sanders, particularly his efficiency with the ball, Cabot is confident that in any 7-on-7 drill, Shedeur would easily outperform Dillon. She made it clear, there's no comparison. However, despite this, Stefanski continues to downplay Sanders' potential, which is growing frustration among both fans and analysts. As this situation drags on, it's becoming increasingly obvious that there's a concerted effort to diminish Shedeur's talent. More and more people are starting to see through it.
In practice, Shedeur Sanders has been making a ton of progress. He looks really good. I've been saying this over and over again. If you put Shedeur and Dillon Gabriel side by side or one after the other in a 7-on-7 red zone drill.
However, Shedeur Sanders isn't backing down. He's determined to prove himself, giving his best effort every day. And the positive buzz surrounding him is making it increasingly difficult for Stefanski to push him out. Shedeur has clearly meshed well with the team, and his commitment is undeniable. In a recent viral video, Shedeur was seen effortlessly making throws, enjoying the moment, and, in a subtle way, mocking Stfansky. The video served as a reminder to the coach that no matter what, Sanders is fully committed to giving everything he has to succeed, whether Stfansky likes it or not. This attitude and his growing rapport with the team are only adding to the pressure Stfansky is facing in trying to sideline him. It's becoming evident that Kevin Stefanski is determined to push Shedeur Sanders out of the Browns' plans, but achieving that goal is not as straightforward as he might have hoped. Despite his efforts to sideline Sanders, the quarterback's talent is undeniable, and there are growing voices, like Mary Kay Cabot, who firmly believe that Sanders is the better option compared to Dillon Gabriel. While Stefanski and others continue to downplay Shedeur's abilities, it's clear that his accuracy, versatility, and potential make him a strong candidate for the starting role. Moreover, Jimmy Haslam's recent intervention has thrown a wrench into Stefanski's strategy. Haslam's insistence that 3 games is not enough to determine Dillon Gabriel as the definitive starter, and his support for Sanders' progress, signals that there's a higher power within the organization that isn't ready to give up on the young quarterback just yet. This creates a tricky situation for Stefanski, as it's clear that not everyone is on board with his decision to sideline Sanders. The growing frustration among fans and analysts, along with the backing of influential figures like Hasslam, makes it harder for Stefanski to continue his attempts to undermine Shedeur. The more this situation unfolds, the more it's becoming clear that pushing Sanders out isn't going to be as easy as Stefanski might have hoped. It's a battle of wills within the Browns organization, and it's one that's far from over. In the end, Shedeur Sanders' future may not be entirely in Stefanski's hands. The pressure is mounting, and things are likely to shift sooner rather than later. So what do you think? Is Kevin Stefanski making the right call by continuing to sideline Shedeur Sanders, or is he overlooking a rising star? Can Shedeur truly rise above this situation and prove he deserves the starting role, despite Stefanski's reluctance to give him a chance? How much longer can the Browns continue to ignore the positive buzz around Sanders before it forces a change? And with Jimmy Hasslam stepping in, does Stefanski's position start to look more precarious? We want to hear your thoughts. Do you think Shedeur will eventually be the starting quarterback? or as a trade in his future? Let us know what you think.